Hello everybody and welcome back to the KeyBank Center here in Buffalo as the Sabres lead this Eastern Conference playoff series 1-0. Hello everybody, welcome inside the arena. My name is Colin Spence. I'll be joined alongside Bob Sutherland here for this Eastern Conference Game 2 in Buffalo as the series will shift to the Capitol in Washington for Game 3 as Buffalo tries to take a 2-0 series lead before they hit the road. And the Capitals are trying to even up this series. Game 1 did end in overtime. Owen Power, the winner of that one. Tage Thompson plays up over to Tuck. What a shift he had in the final shift of the game. Puck gets into the corner. Benson takes a hit. And it's played back into the ice surface from the corner. And Chikrin will have it. Plays up over to Wilson. Pinch there by Darlene. Wall will play it up over to Wilson. He takes a hit as well, and now Byram is on it. Byram will skate inside the blue line. Good work. Feeds it off over to Quinn. Fires a shot. Another good save there by Thompson. Starting goaltenders are the same as game number 1. Brought to you by Tim Hortons Ice Hockey Challenge. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen and Logan Thompson are the two goaltenders here for this Eastern Conference matchup. Luke Chen stays in the lineup, and he'll feed it up the wall here to Jason Zucker, who holds, fires, a glove save by Thompson again. Then Riemsdyk, hit there by Dome. Plays it down low to Power, back to Dome. Holds and waits. Josh Doan, back up to Zucker. Fires a wrist shot, it was tipped in front, and another good stop there by Logan Thompson as he'll hold on.
Well, game 1 was on Washington. At the start of the opening shift, Buffalo took a penalty early. It was a massive hit on Alex Tuck by Wilson, but Buffalo has flipped the script, and they've got 4 unanswered shots on net here in the second game of this series.
Face-off won by Doan. Power's got it. 2 goals in game number 1 for him, one of them being the game winner. Here's Quinn with a shot off the blocking hand of Thompson. Van Riemsdyk. Morischenko. Had himself a good postseason so far. Faravari plays up over to David Camp. Can't get around the Buffalo D. And Quinn is on it with a lead feed pass to Zucker. Plays up over to Shen, who jumped into the rush. Shen with a wrist shot goes cross body into the corner. And Lenton turns it over to Doan. Here's Doan with a shot. Good save there by Thompson. Again on Josh Doan.
That line for Buffalo's been so good here down the stretch of this playoff run. This McLeod, Norris kind of duo.
Here's Krebs, plays it up over to Connor Carrick. Will work his way in, pumps the brakes and holds. Carrick feeds it around, back up top. Here's a pass down low to Krebs and couldn't get it as Duhaime with a good interception and will play it down the ice. Under 10 to go here in the first period. 0-0 in game number 2. McLeod holds it, makes a nice move. He's got Ovechkin on his back. He'll spin off of him. Feeds over to Mallinson, the shot scores! Beck Mallinson's second goal of the postseason has opened up the scoring for Buffalo in game number 2.
Really good work by McLeod to gain zone entry. He's 1-on-2. And he makes the move. He pumps it back to Mallinston, who has protest on him. And a shot for the point. Lots of traffic in front of Logan Thompson. And Buffalo scores the opening goal of this hockey game. Logan Stanley out in front. Can't see a thing. Massive goal for Buffalo. Gets the KeyBank Center on their feet. 7-0 are the shots here in the first period.
So Frank will play it back over to Beauvillier, who quickly turns it over to Greenaway. So fourth line shift for Buffalo. Gets out on the ice. Greenaway will hold. Drives the net, and he tries to tuck it inside. Good work there for Greenaway. Darlene with another blast, this time tipped. And it's sent down in the corner. Kozak on it. Plays up top. Byram, another tip in front, and Danforth couldn't get the puck on net. Washington finally gets the puck out, but not inside the Buffalo zone. 6:50 to go. Here comes Kozak. Spins off of the check, feeds in the middle, and he was looking for Greenaway. Kozak back to Byram with another shot, saved by Thompson.
This is such a good fourth line shift for Buffalo. They were physical, they were aggressive. Really good shift for the Sabres.
Thompson gets out on the ice. He's out there with Greenway and Kozak right now. Here's a pass over to Alexi Protest. And that puck gets knocked away. And now Kozak almost jumped into a loose puck, but Van Riemsdyk off the bench. We'll play it up over to Ovechkin. Back to Protest. To Ovechkin. Can't get the puck. Now Alexi Protest does. Darlene's there to intercept the pass, and still no shot for Washington. Kozak gets it over the red line, and a big hit there. Now Ryan Leonard will get Washington's first shot. No, it's Ovechkin getting Washington's first shot on net. With 3 minutes to go in the period, Washington's got their first shot of the game. Benson to Thompson. Works his way up the blue line. Here's Tage Thompson. Pumping the brakes. Feeds it back. Kozak still on the ice. A shot. Stopped by Thompson as he'll hold it. 10-1 the shots. Logan Thompson under siege. Alex Ovechkin gets the first shot for the Capitals. You're watching the 2026 Simulation Series here on Flow Hockey and YouTube.
All it does is take. And sooner or later, it takes you over. It takes every breath. It takes your body. One night, it'll take your dream. The next night, it will take someone else's. It takes. And just when you have nothing left, it gives.
Take a look there at Alex Ovechkin's hits this series. Big upgrade for him with 50 hits on the year. Thompson with a faceoff win. Here's Power scores! Owen Power yet again! Goals in back-to-back games! His 7th of the postseason. Buffalo has a 2-0 lead.
Faceoff win by Thompson. And then a great pivot here by Owen Power. Opens up the body. You don't know if he's going to pass the body to him or not. But a shot 49 miles per hour. Up and over the blocking arm of Logan Thompson. The same shot. He won overtime with the game number 1. Buries it home for a 2-0 lead in Buffalo.
A massive game for Owen Power in game number 1, and he's transferred it here to game number 2. The Buffalo Sabres have a 2-0 lead here against Washington. As Thompson now holds the puck, feeds in the middle of the tuck. He can't break through, and now it's back onto the stick of Tom Wilson, who will play it up over to Strome. Poked away there, another chance for Ovechkin. Strome in. Only the second shot for Washington here in this period. Quinn pumps it back. Thompson, nice move in. Shoot, scores! Buffalo up by 3. Takes Thompson's 7th of the postseason.
What a play here by Thompson to just curl and drag. And then right up over the blocking arm of Logan Thompson. Just a perfectly placed shot. Traffic in front of Logan Thompson again. A smart move there by Tage to use the screen. And 3 goals for the Buffalo Sabres here in this first period.
Shots are 12-2, Bob. Buffalo showing all of their speed and tenacity here in this first period. Washington just can't get anything going. Chikrin tries to feed it over to Roy. And back to Roy, and that will do it for the first period of play. The Buffalo Sabres might have got eliminated last night IRL, but they are up 3-0 in our simulation series here in the Eastern Conference Final.
Us now is Taylor Hall. I am thrilled to have you on today. I am so happy for you, having watched your career play out. You've had some ups, you've had some downs, and boy, you look like you're just having a lot of fun with this group in Carolina right now. At this age, at this point of your career, Are you appreciating this a little bit more? It looks like it is. It looks like you are, and I mean, you just look like you're playing, you're healthy, and you're playing terrific. What's the perspective for you at this stage on where you guys are at?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I mean, playoffs is the best time of year, and this is what we've kind of been building towards the whole season. So our line with Jackson and Logan, I feel like we've developed into a good trio, and that's been for a while now. And that coupled with the way our team plays and the success we've had really since the Olympic break, we've had really good health along the way, and things are clicking pretty well right now. But it's good to remember we're only halfway there, and there's a lot of really good teams that are going to stand in our way, and I'm just excited to get back playing whenever that is.
Taylor Hall is ready to take on the Montreal Canadiens IRL for that series. That'll be a good one. But I want to talk about a good series. We got Buffalo and Washington here in our Eastern Conference Final, and Buffalo leads the game 3-0. What a first period that was. Domination by the Sabres. Only 2 shots registered for Washington. Wilson gets one in on net. The shot this time blocked. Here's Strome now in. Another shot stopped there by Luukkonen. Byram feeds it across over to Dahlin, who will gain zone entry. Pump the brakes, feeds it in the middle. Benson couldn't control it. Now here comes Washington. 3-on-1. Strome works his way in. A shot off the body of Bowen Byram. Good hit by Ovechkin. A shot tipped in front. Good save, Luukkonen.
Really good work there by Washington to set the second period up with a couple of shots on that. Bowen Byram hits Ovechkin at the blue line. Catches him with his head down. It's a big hit. The whole bench gets all fired up. But then what you don't see in that replay is down in the corner, Byram goes for another one on Ovi, and then Ovi bounces him off like a little kid.
Zucker now has the puck. He'll work his way in, feeds it up over to Quinn. He got an assist on the Tage Thompson goal, as Doan was there to try to help out, but it's broken back up to Luke Shen, who will fire it back in for Buffalo. Doan, first on it, works his way out of the corner, and a good save there by Thompson. Zucker with a good hit along the wall. Shen, back to Doan, pumps the brakes, now spins off of a check, lost the puck, and Power is back for it, with McMichael back in the lineup for Washington. Here's Shen. McMichael plays such a key role on the penalty kill for Washington. Shen, back to Doan. Doan, across the Power, and another shot. Another save there by Thompson. Quinn will hold. Plays it back to Power. He's been so good here in the first 2 games. Quinn curls the line. Power gets it, fires a shot, and a glove save by Logan Thompson.
Good work there by Power.
Face-off won there by by the Washington Capitals. Roy tries to get it out. McLeod! And a stop there by Thompson. Beauvillier plays it up top. A hit there down low. Back to Mallinston. He's got a goal in tonight's game as well. Here's Connor Carrick now, working it in. A third-line shift here for Buffalo. Carrick trying to feed it back to Krebs. Kept in there by Stanley. Krebs trying to feed it up top over to Mallinston, and now it's sent down the ice here by Duhaime. Beauvillier, good hit there by Mallinston, and that will be a penalty. They're going to call it a charge for Beck Mallenstein. I don't know if I agree with that call there, Bob.
No, he does kind of take a run at him, but I don't agree with that call.
So Washington to the power play when we return. You're watching the playoffs here on Flow Hockey and YouTube. We're back here in the second period in Buffalo. Washington Capitals to the power play. They scored a goal on the power play in game number 1. Here's Strome across. His protest almost had a glorious chance right out in front. Buffalo scored 3 shorthanded goals on the same power play in game number 1. Darlene back to McLeod. Lost the puck. Darlene on it now. Feeds it up over to Krebs. He was one of the goal scorers. Pumps the brakes. Spins off of a move. Here comes Peyton Krebs in. And another stop by Logan Thompson.
Washington has played against the Blue Jackets and the Rangers, who are not overly aggressive on their penalty kills. Washington got in, got set up very easily against both of those two teams. And now they're playing against a team that doesn't even like you in the zone on the penalty kill, and you're seeing that right now.
Here comes Owen Power. Holds up, pumps the brakes. A shot. This one hits off of a body, and it's it's McMichael who really is feeling that. Here's Benson now in with a wrist shot. Stopped there by Thompson. It looked like Connor McMichael got shot from the roof by a sniper, the way that puck hit him. Face-off won by Strome. 45 seconds to go in the Washington power play. Ovechkin, 2-on-1 with Protest. Backdoor Protest off the post. Big hit on Alexi Protest down in the corner. He's slow to get up. Washington comes that close to getting back on the board here in tonight's hockey game. Ovechkin, big hit there by Thompson on Ovi as it's sent down the ice. Turned away. Carrick holds, tries to feed it in the middle. Tage Thompson tries to get it deep. Can't. Now he does. Thompson kicks it away. Chikrin is there. Power play has expired. Stanley across. Broken up there by Doan as Ovi was lurking. Doan to Thompson. Quickly up over to Mallinston. Holds. Waits for reinforcements. Mallinston curls and drags. Plays up top. A shot tipped just wide. Danforth kicks it along the wall. Stanley is there. Feeds it back over to Byram. Across. Stanley with a shot. Another block for the Capitals. Danforth gets in on the forecheck. Protest is there. Kicking it out. Now Danforth in. Oh, Love scores! Justin Danforth, second of the postseason. Buffalo 4. Washington 0. Great pitch by Logan Stanley to kick that puck in. Danforth jumps out of the loose one, gets around. Wilson is at the end of the shift and just drags it long enough and far enough away from Logan Thompson. Outweights him, elevates it just high enough. And that is a beautiful goal for Justin Danforth. So the Buffalo Sabres have a 4-0 lead here in period number 2 of game number 2 of this Eastern Conference Final. Greenway sends it in. So the fourth line will get credit for that goal as 2 of them were out on the ice. And Danforth, the man who gets it. Byram with a good play. A shot stopped there by Luukkonen. The rebound just surpassed David Kana. Good hit there by Darlene. Another big one down in the corner. Here comes Benson now. Works his way in. Drops it back. Tuck didn't want to enter the zone offside, so he'll regroup. Finding it off to Benson, who will chip it in. 3:32 to go here in the second period. The turnover. Benson drags. Can't pull the shot. Is a good back-checking play there by Faravari. Tuck and Faravari battle along the wall. Played up over to Morschenko. Power is there. Gains the zone. Here's Owen Power. Backdoor top scores! Alex Tuck, his 4th of the postseason. And Buffalo has extended their lead 5-0 here in game number 2.
What a goal there by Alex Tuck. Owen Power uses that big body. Another point for Power. And that will do it for Logan Thompson's night. He has done his first pull since round number 1, and now Charlie Lindgren gets a chance to try to stop the bleeding.
So now the question going into game number 3, do you start Thompson or do you start Lindgren? Face-off won there by Tage Thompson. So Buffalo, 5 unanswered goals, and here they come again. Here's Benson now, pumping the brakes. Buffalo just looks ready to go as trying to get a first shot on Charlie Lindgren. Shed keeps it alive. Plays it back over to Power. Not the guy you want taking the first shot. A pass over to Benson. And it gets loose onto the stick of Owen Power. We're down to a minute here left in the second. Washington needs out of this period. Turned over. Kept in by Quinn. Broken up by Beauvillier. He'll get in on Shed. Nice move. A pass. Stopped there by Luukkonen. Duhaime hit down in the corner by Power. And that will do it for the second period of play. The fans on their feet here in Buffalo as their team has exploded into a 5-0 lead after 2 periods of play and have chased Logan Thompson.
Early going in the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs, we had penalty box.
The world draws lines between the superpowers, the middle powers, the friends, and the foes. But on our turf, these lines unite. Sport Check. Soccer united.
Febreze. When you host, your bathroom can feel like a revolving door. Keep things fresh with Febreze Bathroom. No batteries, no outlets needed. This air freshener fights odors for 45 days. So even after every flush, you know your bathroom smells amazing. Pair with Charmin toilet paper.
I think Chega and Sundin are batting 1,000 right now. They're 1 for 1. Yeah, had one task, and they did the right thing. They guarded him.
I think they bunted this one home in extra innings. Like, this is the...
You still got to get the... You know how hard it is to get a bunt down?
Yeah, you're right.
You got to get the bunt down.
Got to get the bunt down.
You still had to take it upstairs and still have to say, hey, you're going to blast $8 million into the sun unless somebody hires Berube and get sign-off on it. And they did.
Now, actually... relating this back to Cassidy, so it's one coach complaining and maybe 2 teams complaining. Where this is going to become a bigger issue is when everyone starts complaining, because Cassidy's a very highly sought-after coach, and this is probably going to gum up the works. This is probably going to affect a lot more than 2 teams and a lot more than one coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why they haven't done it this way. But yeah.
Right.
But moving on to the Leafs here. Because I do want to go Leafs. Right. So the Berube one to us was obvious, but there was some worry in the market fed by people that were saying, hey, he's not going to be, he might not be fired. He expects to be here, that sort of thing.
Because he's Keith's right-hand man and Keith doesn't know what he's doing.
The Keith Pelly relationship is major.
Doesn't know what he's doing.
What is, and I think Keith has done the smart thing here, I hope he has, where he's gone, okay, I've hired these people, now it's up to them.
Oh my God.
Please be the
Can we go at least several months without seeing him again? Holy cow.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do any more press runs. So the next thing I want to ask is, what is the next thing? Because this is a great hurdle, but it was pointed out in The Athletic, and they're right, there is a lot to do. There's a lot to do. So what's the next? I mean, I guess you got to talk to Matthews next and get him on board.
It's that. It's your top 2 priorities are decide who you're picking 1, and Austin. You need an answer with Austin. And I don't need this to be a long, drawn-out thing. If it's no, I want the Quinn Hughes treatment. So rip the Band-Aid off.
Can I? There's a line that Cheka keeps.
STPN boys with the second period intermission. We're back here for a third in Buffalo. 5-0. The Sabres lead it. We'll bring it back down over to Bob Sutherland, who's got something for us.
Yeah, Colin, I was speaking to Lindy Rupp during the intermission, and he said he likes the way the team came out in the second and the first. The problem is when you're up by this score, you can't get complacent. He doesn't want his team to get complacent. So, Colin, I expect a lot more offense coming from Buffalo.
Well, that's exciting to hear for us, but not for Washington. Good attitude to have for the Sabres, though. That's never good enough. Here comes Ovechkin now. Works his way in, tries to get through. This is the biggest deficit the Capitals have seen in this postseason run, being down by 5 going into the third period. No team has been down by 5 going into the third period in this postseason. Lindgren makes his first stop of the game as he'll cover it.
Charlie Lindgren and Logan Thompson are both right-handed catching goaltenders. And, you know, it makes the other teams a little bit confused, but it looks like Buffalo has no problem with it.
Here's another shot by Power, and he's been going to that blocker's side because normally that's glove side. Here's Dona shot, and easily 3 saves there for Lindgren in his first shift of the third period. Protest fires a shot, and that one was fought aside by Luukkonen. Shen will pump the brakes and now try to feed it down the ice. This will be icing Buffalo as exactly 15 minutes to go in regulation.
Well, the problem is, and you know the Buffalo Sabre fans are already thinking it, and I would be remiss not to think it, but yeah, like, this game pretty much is over. You're down by 5 on one of the President Trophy winners in a hockey game with 15 minutes to go. It's going to be tough when they keep coming at you and firing shots after you pulled your goalie. But like Lindy Ruff said, can't get complacent, don't want to push that envelope further to Washington. That gives them a chance to get back in this game and the series.
Krebs to mount some of the shots. Saved there by Lindgren as he'll cover it up again. And his job for Charlie Lindgren is just to get in there, make some stops, and stop the bleeding as much as you can. Face-off to the left of him. One there by the Capitals. They are one of the better face-off teams in the playoffs. They'll feed it up over to Duhaime. Quickly turned over. McLeod to Mallinson. Lead feed pass to Carrick. Lost off of his stick. Here's Krebs. In shot! Saved by Lindgren. 12:46 to go. Time ticks down, and we remain in the Washington Capitals end. Face-off, battled. One there by Carrick. Plays over to Mallinson. Tipped in front. Another good stop by Charlie Lindgren.
Say what you want, he's come in at the end of the second, didn't face a shot. Then he comes in for the third. And he's made save after save here to start this period.
Here's Stanley with a shot. Another blocker saved by Lindgren. And that's played up over to Lenson. Big hit by Mallinston. Or Mallinston, excuse me. Played up over to Morschenko. Hit by Stanley. A shot off of a Capitals body as they were trying to dump it in. Look out! A big hit there by Mallinston. And there it goes. The gloves from Sandin. He didn't like that hit one bit. That was a massively clean hit from Mallinston. And now these two chucking them right in front of the Buffalo Sabres penalty box. Massive win there for Mallinston on the fight. And bet Mallinston.
Wow, what a scrap for these two. It starts with a massive hit from Beck Mallinston. Sandin doesn't like it. He comes over, stands up for his boy. I'll never hate a guy for standing up for his teammate. What a fight that was.
Now Morschenko. Maybe that'll give the Capitals a little bit of life. Standing up for a teammate. A shot stopped there by Luukkonen. That's their first shot of the third period. And we're just under halfway through the period. Here is Thompson. Holding the puck. Plays it back over to Byram. Tipped! Good save, Lindgren.
That's probably been his toughest stop that changes ways. Oh, Lindgren, a really good save.
Camp to protest. Turned over. Back onto the stick of tuck. Plays up over to Benson. Passes it over to Thompson. This puck is going to slide into the corner. Tage is first on it. He's the only saver down low. Nice move. Thompson in. Saved there by Lindgren. And he will play the puck out. 7:42 to go here. Time is ticking away from the Capitals as Buffalo just keeps it down in Washington zone. Here's Quinn. Zucker and scores! What a goal, Jason Zucker!
His third of the postseason. Buffalo up by 6. What a pass by Quinn, and what a toe drag as he curls this around. Look at this, loses the puck, gets it back, curls it, freezes Charlie Lindgren, and the Buffalo Sabres. A goal in the third period by Jason Zucker puts them up by 6.
Well, a game that you want to forget for Washington after a bounce back from the first game of this series that went to overtime and was filled with goal after goal after goal. Buffalo has really fed off that win in game number 1 and have come out and scored 6 goals here in tonight's game. Ovechkin is on it. Washington has only had 11 shots on net, 13, shots on net this whole entire hockey game. Power plays up over to Zucker. He'll turn it around. 5:30 to go now, and almost impossible for Washington to get back into this game. Wilson takes a big hit, and the other reason why Buffalo is in this lead is how well they're playing physically. Here's Josh Doan trying to work his way around, but a good turn away there by Faravari. Plays over to Wilson. Back on the stick here, Josh Doan. Game 3 will be in Washington as the Capitals are trying to bounce back from this disappointing effort. Here's Dahlin across to Carrick. Saved there by Lindgren. He can't find the puck. It is loose. Carrick's battling for it. We finally get a whistle. 3:10 to go here in the third period. Buffalo up 6-0 in the third period.
Why is everyone so fired up? It's a Stanley Cup playoffs. Most exciting playoffs out there. A 2-month roller coaster filled with sudden deaths, good old-fashioned chaos, and a beauty we call the Jesus stuff. There's action on the ice and in the studio. Every series is a statement, and everyone, it's their shot at the cup.
Why is everyone so fired up?
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs, the most exciting playoffs out there. A 2-month roller coaster with sudden deaths, and a beauty.
So with 3:10 to go, the Sabres up 6-0. Face-off won by McLeod. Dahlin with a shot that hit McLeod, and he is hurt.
Not the guy you want out of your lineup.
There's a shot stopped there by Lukin, and McLeod really fighting that puck. He went straight to the bench and down the tunnel. Here's a shot saved there by Lukin. Minute 50 to go off of Rasmus Dahlin blast. Lots of bodies were in front. It hit McLeod. Here comes Carrick. He's in. Delays. A pass out in front. And look at Benson diving over the Washington Capitals to try to get that rebound. Stanley. Good play. Stanley works his way in. He got leveled there by Duhaime. Grabs. Nice move out of the corner and a shot. Saved there by Lindgren. Ryan McLeod takes this shot off of Dahlin, right there off the knee, the top of the knee, under the pant, on top of the knee where there's no protection. And that was him going straight down the tunnel. So Ryan McLeod will not return for the last 47 seconds of this game. Hopefully he's in the lineup in Washington for Buffalo. As Washington has, like the fact, Connor McMichael's back in the lineup, even though a disappointing start to game number 2 and a disappointing ending. Game 3, a bounce back game for Washington. They're going to need one, being down by 2 in this series. Korzak plays up top. Stanley with a blast. That's blocked. Mallinston, nice drive to the net. Here's a shot. Saved by Lindgren, and he'll hold it and cover with 19.8 to go.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has not been busy tonight, but when he's needed to be, He's been good. He's been poised. He's been calm. It's a hard thing when you're not getting pucks on net. But he's done a good job. Here tonight, only one has beat him, and it hit the post, so a little bit of luck too. But UPL has been very good tonight for Buffalo.
Shots are 33-15 for the Sabres, and they keep on coming. Power wants another one. He broke his stick.
Too many slap shots in the last 2 games.
Puck gets sent down in the corner. Power is looking to hit Jacob Chikrin. He's just running around with no stick. I don't want to go to the bench. A massive hit there by Power. Saved by Luukkonen, and that will do it. UPL picks up a shutout here in the Eastern Conference Final. The Buffalo Sabres have a 2-0 series lead heading to Washington. In a domination game number 2 of this Eastern Conference Final, the Sabres win it 6-0 against the Washington Capitals. From myself, Bob Sutherland, and everyone else at the EA Studios, we appreciate each and every one of you tuning in to Game 2 of this Eastern Conference Final. We are in Washington for Game number 3. I hope to see you all there, where the Capitals try to bounce back from one of the most devastating losses in the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs.